Right, welcome to this week's episode of Work the Left Side. I am joined by Mark, or as you probably better know him on socials, Wrestling Jebus. Sabers Jebus. And yes, it is Mr. Oh, as I like to call him, Mr. UK Wrestling. The dude, the amount of shows you get to, mate, is freaking mental, but I love it. So thank you for joining me. Obviously, we are here to talk First Pursuit. So yes, welcome to Work the Left Side, dude.
Thank you so much, mate. It's a pleasure to be on. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I got quite a few shows, probably too many shows. I think I might be developing a slight problem, but I enjoy it nonetheless. Enjoy going to different parts of the UK. Enjoy seeing all the different promotions, seeing all the new wrestlers, and yeah, just absolutely love it, mate. Having a blast. So yeah, thank you so much for having me on, mate. Absolute pleasure.
Oh, and that's the thing, man. Yeah, you've got that balance. You know, you go to like the big promotions, you've seen all the big names, the current stars, the OGs, but you're also clocking, mate, because obviously, you know, I follow you on Insta. We talk on Insta a lot, and just I always look forward to seeing your posts on Insta, you know, from the shows you've been to, you know, at the weekend. And yeah, like I say, it's not just the big established names. It's like a couple of weeks ago, you know, I was watching like a highlight reel you did for Kemper. Just to name one guy, I know I comment on that one. I was just like, Jesus, man, that guy's awesome. And yeah, so you're across the board, mate. You're seeing talent as it's building to obviously, you know, at the top of the food chain.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I think if you're going to go around the country and experience British wrestling, you've got to experience all of British wrestling. You can't just like pick and choose all the top promotions. If you're going to go around and go to all these shows, you've really got to experience all of British wrestling. So whether it's like sort of like the bigger sort of arenas, or even the small social clubs on a Friday or Saturday night. So yes, you need that. You need a bit of a variety, don't you? So yeah, but no, absolutely loving it, mate. Whether it's the big shows or the small shows, having an absolute blast, mate. Loving it.
Dude. So yeah, basically though, this Saturday, Pursuit Pro Wrestling put on their first open doors show. Obviously, they've got numerous shows on YouTube, what I would class as in your house shows, really, for obviously anybody who's subscribes to Pursuit on YouTube, you know about these shows. I would recommend that you do subscribe if you aren't already. And it's just an in-house show for talent to put on shows for us to see via YouTube, but obviously it's the other trainees in attendance. This is going to be the first show where they've got general paying public in attendance.
Yeah, should be a hell of a show as well. As you said, the in your house shows that they do are really good quality. I've seen quite a few of them now on YouTube, and from the wrestling to even the production of them, so really high quality production. I've been to that venue a few times, and I've been impressed with the facilities and the setup there. But yeah, just really high quality, and the shows they put on are fantastic. Really worth subscribing if you haven't already. Really high quality shows.
Definitely agree with that. And yeah, as a man who's been to many shows, I think it was Joe Raid or somebody else I was talking to about this recently, and it just seems like, I don't know, 87% of most of the cards, especially in Yorkshire at the minute, because obviously we're both Yorkshire based. Yeah, I'd sort of say, you know, about 87% of most cards are highly. You can see Pursuit's fingerprints all over them.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. As you said, if you go around Yorkshire, I like to say that you're never about 30 minutes away from a wrestling show, regardless of where you live. So I think, and especially Pursuit Pro Wrestling, as you said, the fingerprints are all over the place at the moment, all over the Yorkshire scene and around the country as well, because obviously, you know, you've had people like Leon Slater and Liam Slater, Crash Bow, you know, all around the country, different promotions up and down the land. So yeah, definitely the fingerprints all over the UK scene.
Which makes this first show all the more impressive for me, because people are going into this. I think you're going to have two types of people. You're going to probably have hometown peeps in Sheffield who have been lacking a promotion for a few years, have finally got a promotion and a show to go to, who might not know much about the scene, or, you know, people that are there. But then you're going to have the other half of the fans who are going to be like, I know most of these guys from various other promotions, and this is going to be an absolute fucking banger because these guys are amazing. So yeah, I think, you know, it's up to Pursuit now to please everyone. Obviously you can't always please everyone, but you can make everybody happy. You can make them enjoy most of the show.
I think given the card that they've got, they'll do a pretty good job in doing that, because the card at the end of the day, it's a training school, but looking at the card, they've got some incredible talent on there. I mean, it's frightening given the quality of the card they've actually put out for their debut show. It's quite incredible. Really looking forward to it. And as I said, you've got some top quality talent on there. You've still got some sort of like trainees on there. Some people who I've seen quite a lot of, some people who I've seen a handful of times, and then some people who admittedly I've never seen at all, live and in person. So yeah, can't wait for it, mate. It should be a hell of a show.
Well, talking about the card, talking about the matches. Anybody who watches this knows I generally always come unprepared. I just tend to wing it and talk as I see stuff. So I know actually before we started recording, you have the matches lined up. You have, we know what the matches are going to be. So as always, whoever I'm talking to, you can be the organised one, you can be the sensible one, and we shall. What's the first match you've got?
I'm going to pick a potential match of the night. Two people who I've seen quite often. You've got Vusyk, who I absolutely love. Honestly, I've seen him so many times this year, and he's just so impressive. Love Vusyk, and he's up against Joe Wade, who again seen many times. Again, so impressive. You've got a real contrast of styles here. You've got Vusyk with sort of like the ground and pound offense, and then you've got Joe Wade, the high flyer of the two. Should be an incredible match. A real mesh of styles, and yeah, can't wait for this one, mate. Could be potential match of the night candidate here.
Fully agree. I tweeted earlier, I put the match graphic because I found on Insta, I did like a little video thing earlier, highlight reel thing for the matches, and I totally missed that one off because I couldn't find it on Twitter. It was only on Insta. And then I tweeted earlier about sort of saying, if you want to see a match where two guys are just going to kick the shit out of each other, and then when that fails, one resorts to ground and pound, the other one resorts to aerial technique. That's this match, because both guys can work stiff. Joe said, he loves working stiff. He's worked with Vusyk before, and they just kick the shit out of each other. And this is going to be, the same sort of game plan. So yeah, it's just going to be an absolute barn burner. And both guys are on the cusp of getting, to the. Trying to choose my words. I don't want to say the bigger promotions. I don't want to besmirch anyone, but the more established promotions, we'll say. I'm not saying the bigger; they're just more established.
Exactly, yeah. And in Vusyk's case, he's only been wrestling about 18 months, 2 years. That's insane, considering how good he is. As I said, I've seen him quite a few times this year, and it's even the little sort of nuances that he does in terms of like whether it be like facial expressions or his selling. He just looks like an absolute killer. He looks incredible. I cannot say enough good things about Vusyk. But that's not selling Joe Wade short either, because he's a phenomenal talent as well. Seen him many times over the last few years, and just keeps getting better and better and better every time I see him. So yeah, just cannot wait for this potential match of the night. As I said, going to be an absolute banger, mate.
I know I've called you Mr. UK Wrestling. I don't know how far back the wrestling knowledge goes, stateside kind of thing, but I've compared Vusyk to Loki quite a lot in tweets, and that to me is like a huge compliment. I love Loki, or Caval to WWE fans. But yeah, he's like next generation Loki for me. He's got that. Just yeah. I mean, you're nodding your head. You know what I mean.
Exactly. Yeah, I've never even thought about that. To be fair, that's a hell of a comparison. But yeah, just a phenomenal talent, mate. One of the best I've seen around in all the shows that I've been to. Just phenomenal, mate. Can't say enough good things about him.
No, that's it. So we'll stop there before we make him blush if he does watch this. We want to try and keep him humble. He's a very spiritual martial arts kind of guy. We don't want him getting too big for his kick pads. So what's next?
We have got Jack Maxwell versus Hardman Dan. Now, if I remember correctly, you've got Hardman Dan coming up on the podcast, I believe.
I have, yeah. Actually, I think 1st of November, I'm going to be recording that episode. But I had the pleasure of speaking to Maxwell a couple of weeks ago as well. And yeah, both guys. Again, if we said the last match was two guys kicking the shit out of each other, this is just going to be two scary bastards staring at each other, for the first few seconds, and then just pummeling the crap out of each other, probably.
Exactly. I've seen Jack Maxwell not as often as I would have liked. I think I've only seen him once or twice. I remember seeing him at Wrestle Planet earlier this year in about February time. A hell of a match there. And I think he had another one against Leon Slater as well at Wrestle Planet a month or so ago. But I've asked a few local wrestlers about who the most underrated talent is in the UK scene currently, and a lot of them say Jack Maxwell. So I'm very interested to see how he does. Because I said I've only seen him once or twice this year, so very interested to see how he gets on. And Hardman Dan as well. Seen him a few times this year. Saw him most recently at BWR in Cleethorpes, and also Tidal as well. Another promotion that I love going to. I love the atmosphere at Tidal. Amazing atmosphere. So yeah, no, can't wait for this one. As you said, it can be two people just kicking the shit out of each other, which is best wrestling in my opinion.
Exactly. Jack Maxwell is, he's got this character as well. That's what I love about, because obviously, again, if anybody's noticed over the last few months, I've talked to a hell of a lot of people from Pursuit, kind of slowly, gradually building up to First Pursuit. That was my aim. After every time I talk to them, Jack Maxwell very much at the top of that list of characters. Everybody seems to be developing or reverting back to character wrestling. They've all kind of got a character now. They're not just your average Joe turned up to 11 kind of thing. It's an actual, the Jack Maxwell character is just a scary guy. If you follow him on social media, a lot of the pictures that he puts of just him appearing behind somebody, like in Michael Myers style or something, and you're just like, oh, son of a. So yeah, that and the Hardman Dan character as well. I think it's going to be an absolute. It's going to be a very, very good match. Very different to the last one that we saw as well. I think the card overall, when we've talked about matches, we'll notice how varied it is.
Exactly, yeah. It's a really, really solid card, just up and down. But yeah, Jack Maxwell versus Hardman Dan will be a barn burner for sure. Looking forward to that one, mate. Definitely.
What we got next?
Next, so much to choose from. We've got Crashboat versus Gene Money and a mystery opponent.
Yeah, what's in the box, Gene? What's in the box?
I knew you were going to make that reference.
You know me too well.
But yeah, any ideas for who it could possibly be?
I haven't got a Scooby, dude. I've been trying to think. I'm trying to think if there's anybody, Pursuit alumni or somebody that that's not on the card that I can think of. I don't know. I'm thinking, Ace Matthews maybe. I don't know who's booked that weekend elsewhere as well. That's the problem.
Yeah. What about Kemper? I don't think Kemper's on the card.
The Battle Royal, anything. The
Oh, is it?
No. I'm sure Kemper's Battle Royal. If you look at the graphics, he's on one of the cards. I'm sure he is.
Ah. I don't know that.
That's part of the enjoyment, though, is obviously you're going to get there on Saturday. This match is going to obviously start. Crashboat will come out first. Gio will come out, and then they'll get a genuine crowd reaction when whoever comes out. And hopefully, I'm sure it's not going to be anybody. I'm sure nobody's going to be disappointed. I'm sure they're not going to build this up for Keith Goldberg to come out or something.
Yeah, but Crashboat, hell of a tag team. I know they've been going around for several years now, but just an incredible tag team, fantastic chemistry, and two great lads behind the scenes as well. It's like two really sort of nice, down to earth guys as well. Always up for a chat, always friendly, always so approachable as well. Just two properly nice lads. And two fantastic wrestlers as well. Seen them many, many times over the years. Always put on fantastic matches. Love the stuff they've been doing at North recently. Tremendous stuff at North. Always so entertaining. Gene Money as well, obviously. He's starting to get about a bit. Going to Progress and different promotions. Made his Tidal debut at the previous show. So good to see him, getting bookings up and down the country. So yeah, should be a really good match. Just interesting to see who Gene Money's special partner is going to be.
Yeah, man. I was just kind of think like fantasy booking it. Like I said, I'm sure if Kemper's not in the main event, then that would be a very good shout. I'm certain he is, but I may be wrong. Doesn't happen often, but it does. As anybody who watches this episode knows, I am prone to a mistake or two. But yeah, I'm just trying to think. But could it be? Yeah, it might not. I'm thinking Pursuit. It might. Obviously, a lot of these guys know other people. It wouldn't take much for them to call in a favor and be like, "Look, dude, fancy coming to the show." It could be anyone, man. It could be anyone on the British scene. But yeah, I'll look forward to. It could be freaking Will Cruz, could be Nathan Cruz, it could be Haskins, it could be anybody, dude. That's the great thing about British wrestling.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. So varied, but yeah, should be a hell of a match. I've got the Battle Royal participants listed down, but I couldn't see Kemper on there.
Okay.
Yes, I don't know. Might be.
I'm sure. So I kind of presumed because he just lost the belt, obviously at the last In Your House show. I just kind of thought it'd get an automatic call up to the match, personally. But yeah, we'll be interested to see. So obviously we'll go through the names when we get to the semi-main event.
So yeah, next on the list, we've got a 4-way match. We've got Joe Kesler versus Jet Marshall versus Jay Vertigo versus Joey Sky.
Yeah.
Yes. Lots of people getting with Jay. Yes. So yeah, should be a hell of a match. Jet Marshall, I've seen quite a few times at Rise and various sort of local shows around me. I saw him at True Grit in the PPW venue. I think it was either end of last year or the very beginning of this year. I think it was in a main event match versus Inseriko, the Ugandan warrior. Incredible match. He's so good. Saw him at North as well. At their big show earlier this year.
He's making his stamp up in North at the minute. He's been at the last few shows and he's leaving his mark up there.
100%. Just an incredibly talented wrestler. Jay Vertigo, I've not seen much of him. I've seen him once at Wrestle Planet earlier this year, but other than that, not seen too much of him. Have you had him on the podcast before?
Yes, he's a sort of grapple alumni. He's lots of pursuits and very much still around this scene. He's not quite jumped up to like your North and stuff yet, but I would say give it 12 months, and you'll be seeing him in. The amount of promotions he's worked for will have doubled in the next 12 months. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I remember seeing that match at Wrestle Planet against Liam Slater, and it was a hell of a match. Really, really good, really entertaining. So yeah, just surprised not to have seen him in further places. But as you said, as the months progress, and hopefully he'll get booked more places. But I've also got Joe Kesler as well. Seen him once or twice this year. Incredibly talented. Loved the gimmick. Loved the character and the attire. Really, really good. Looks like an absolute rock star. Absolute beast. Incredible talent. And Joey Sky, who I don't think I've ever seen wrestle live.
I'm with you on that one. That's the one out of the three where he's the unknown entity to me. I'm a bit like, okay. To besmirch anyone, because if I don't know you, it doesn't mean you're shit. It just means there's that many goddamn of yous out there. I unfortunately can't see everyone. So yeah, Sky, I think it's going to be the unknown entity of this match. But the fact that he's been booked in this match speaks volumes.
Exactly, mate. But you've got some incredibly talented people in that match, so yeah, should be an absolute banger. As I said, not seen Joey Sky wrestle before, but looking forward to it. But yeah,
Kesler was at the last True Grit show. He tagged with Nathan Black, and yeah, man, his entrance, I was there for that one. And yeah, just him coming out, his persona, just everything about him, he just embodies the character kind of thing, which, again, from speaking to various people, is what everybody's doing so well at the minute. They're embodying that character. You're looking at these guys, and he's another one. You put him on the poster and you've automatically got people's attention like that because he just looks the business.
Exactly. As it just looks like a star, doesn't he? Every time you see him, he just has that sort of look and aura about him. Yeah, just fantastic, mate. What was that True Grit show like? Because I missed that one. I was in London for All In weekend, and I gutted that I missed True Grit shows because I love that promotion so much. It's so always put on absolute bangers of shows. So I was gutted to miss that one. What was it like?
It was absolutely awesome. Yeah, obviously you had the debut of Nash Boat. It was worth the ticket price alone just to see Alan Kay not to freaking. When Nash and Ace came out, you could see Alan Kay in the corner like, no, you know, obviously Alan Kay's a miserable bastard. You know, it's part of misery. You know, that's his character, and it was just kind of like, damn. So yeah, you had Nash Boat versus Misery Business. In Serico had an absolute just contender with Sam Gradwell, who is one of those guys that if you see Sam Gradwell on a show, you just know he's going to deliver. The guy's leveled up since NXT UK, and it was a really good show. Like you said, True Grit, man, they always put on. The Left Bank is a great venue, and the shows always deliver.
Yeah, 100%. That venue is so cool as well. It's just amazing. Love it. That old sort of church, just such a good venue. Get always good crowds as well. They always seem to be packed out there. So yeah, really good crowds. As you said, just consistently good shows as well.
Good.
You'll never see a True Grit show.
Yeah, just it's good stories and good development. So what's the last thing you said though, Dave?
No, I would just say like it's consistently a good promotion. You'll never see a bad True Grit show.
There we go. That was it. Yeah. So we cut off a little bit there. I just got the True Grit at the end. But yeah, you're right. You will never see a bad True Grit show because of the talent. Obviously, Serico's champ is awesome. Obviously, yeah, you've got your Vusyks, Leon Slaters. They've got a ladder match at the next show for the tag titles. It's just it's awesome. The women's division is boss. But again, True Grit is one of those promotions that's got Pursuit's fingerprints all over it.
100%. As you said, always deliver, always consistently good shows. And as you said, you've got the Pursuit fingerprints all over it as well. So yeah, no, love True Grit. I love True Grit. So what else have we got? Should we talk about the Battle Royal?
We can do the women's match if you want first before we hit the Battle Royal.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do the women's match. We've got Rio versus Eve Bateman. Rio, I mean, she's been booked everywhere recently. I mean, she's doing fantastic stuff in Scotland with ICW. Took that insane bump, obviously, earlier this year. Did you see that? That she fell from the balcony onto the ring apron. Looked absolutely insane. I love that so much. Amazing bump. Against Eve Bateman, someone who also getting a lot more bookings now. Been at North a few times, Wrestle Planet as well. Really, really good, consistent wrestler. So can't wait to see the match between these two. But yeah, two very, very talented wrestlers. Saw Rio this weekend at the TNT GCW Weekender. She was in a tag match with Lizzie Evo versus Lana Austin. And yeah, just an amazing wrestler who's certainly going around the country getting loads of bookings, and deservedly so. Yes,
definitely. I've seen a Tidal, True Grit, like sort of say a few other places. The fact that you even mentioned, ICW, is just freaking, anybody who works with ICW, again, they are what I would class as, when I talk about established promotions, I'm talking ICW, I'm talking Progress, guys at that sort of level. And yeah, so, if we're talking about somebody who's worked on an ICW show, that automatically means that they're at a certain level.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I still consider ICW to be one of the sort of top promotions in the UK. Always put on consistently good stuff. Nancy said anyone who works there certainly, just an incredible performer. And it's great to see Rio doing so well. She's really come through the ranks in the past few years, as you said, doing the sort of Tidal True Grit shows, now doing the ICW as well. North as well. She was in a really, really good match with Mercedes Martinez.
Yes. Yeah, I forgot about
that. Really, really good match. Yeah, she's just killing it all over the place. And yeah, can't wait for the match this weekend. Should be awesome.
It'll be awesome. I say Bateman as well. It's somebody else's. That's the problem. I've had this conversation. You know, I mean, obviously, I know we've got so much sort of male wrestling talent, but I think the problem is now it's very 50-50. We've got just as many awesome female wrestlers. It's hard to lose. It's easy to lose track of, you know, some people. And yeah, I think that's, you know, like Alexis Falcon is one example that I always give. You know, she should be in everyone's top 5, but often get forgotten about just through sheer numbers. And then Rio's another one. You know, Bateman's climbing up there as well. She's becoming very, very established and very, very good.
100%. As you said, there's so many coming through now, so many talented female wrestlers. You know, the likes of Alexis Falcon, as you said, who have, you know, should be everywhere. As you said, she was at the TNT weekend had just gone, putting on, you know, amazing matches. Just such a talented performer. And you've got like the veterans like Lana Austin, you know, still going back, Lizzie Evo as well. You know, tremendously talented. You've got the new guns coming through. Like, have you heard of ZZ?
Yes, yeah. I've seen her at True Grit. She was at the last True Grit show.
Yeah. Just insane performer. She's only like 19 or something ridiculous, and yet she's just like the whole package, just incredible, mate. Incredible performer. So yeah, there's just so many coming through. It's very exciting time for female wrestling in the UK. I think just so many talented people coming through.
How crazy though! You class Lizzie as a veteran. She's 24.
Yeah, I know. It sounds so stupid, but she's, you know, she's been around the scene for a few years now. She's good at what she does.
I mean, we had this when I talked to her. We had this conversation, and, you know, she was talking about, you know, the next generation of talent. I was like, you are the next generation of talent. You're 20. It's like she's nearly got 10 years worth of experience at like the age of 24. It's ridiculous. So very much right. We won't touch about Royal. I'm going to use this as a segue into people who have been around a crazy amount of time for such a crazy young age. Leon Slater, 18, been in the business, been training since he was 10. The guy's nearly got 10 years worth of experience on his 20th. When he hits 20, he'll have 10 years of experience. And obviously it's paying off, man. He's the young face that's running the place all over the shop. And so, yeah, obviously they've just announced today, it was meant to be Leon Slater versus, you can tell me this one?
Kid Lycos.
But obviously, I think they've announced, you know, Lycos is booked elsewhere. So we are instead getting Slater versus Slater. I don't know if they're fighting for name, or, you know, if one of them's just going to be called Leon or Liam afterwards. It's Leon Slater versus Liam Slater. If you've seen the match from North, by God, this is going to be awesome.
Exactly. I mean, that match at North, probably my personal match of the year. The matches that I've seen live so far this year, just absolutely insane. And the reaction when Leon won as well, just off the scale. I recorded it and put it on my Instagram. Like, honestly, people jumping up and down, hugging each other, just amazing, mate. And what a match. I mean, not a bad replacement, is it, to have Liam Slater in there? Just incredible performer. Again, someone who I would call maybe a veteran of the UK scene now. Been around a number of years, obviously does the training at PPW. But mate, as you said, the North match was just insane. You had about 700, 800 people there in the Walker Dome, I believe. You know, crazy attendance for a British wrestling show, and to have this again, will just be insane. I can't wait, mate. Should be an amazing match.
But yeah, obviously, as I said, you know, we've seen Leon's popping up everywhere at the minute, and, you know, Liam said, you know, he always, whenever he gets in the ring against Leon, it's always kind of like, he always has that mentor versus student mentality. It always kind of adds, you know, a little bit to it. There's always like one-upmanship. And yeah, I mean, you've mentioned Vusyk and Wade as a potential match of the night. This is the match to beat for me. If everybody delivers, this will be match of the night. If somebody over-delivers, that could be match of the night. But if this fires on all cylinders, this will be not even a match of the night. This will be a match of the year contender on par with the North. I think the North one might top it because of the emotion, but in ring.
Exactly. I mean, when you've got two people of that caliber in there, then you're going to guarantee an amazing match. And it's great to see Leon Slater get so many opportunities, not just around the country, but also internationally as well now. Obviously, he's been booked for GCW. I think he's doing a tour of Germany. I think coming up for GCW, I believe. But yeah, just such a talented individual. So great to see him get so many opportunities. I'm amazed a big company like an AEW hasn't come in for him as of yet, but I think that might be a matter of time, exactly, because he's just too talented not to be snapped up by a big company. I feel somewhat sad seeing him wrestle a bit because I know that it won't last forever.
He's ours. He's got hours.
Exactly, yeah. I just think it's a matter of time before someone like an AEW or even a WWE or someone comes and snaps him up because, as I said, he's just too talented not to be, really. So, yeah, can't wait for this.
It's going to be bad. I think he might go the Osprey route. New Japan is also very much in the equation.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Yeah, New Japan would fit in really well there, to be fair, yeah. But yeah, just great to see him get so many opportunities, but maybe it's a case of enjoying while you can.
Said that a few times, unfortunately, and I always type it with a tear in my eye. It's like, unfortunately, enjoy him on the British scene while we've got him because that dude is, and you can't begrudge him. It's just, he's put a shift in. He's just crazy talented. He's just like a fucking child prodigy or something. So, go earn, make your money, and do what you do and get paid for it. So, before we hit the Battle Royal, obviously Nathan Black also had a match announced, which we haven't seen anything saying it's not going to happen yet. But I think it's a little bit of shade. We don't know what's going to happen with that match at this moment. So, obviously, we'll wait an announcement before Saturday. Card subject to change. We'll see what's going on with Nathan Black's match.
Yeah, exactly. But just a shout out to Nathan Black because I love Nathan Black. Honestly, I first time seeing him was earlier this year, and mate, just the character and the personality and the charisma of that guy is just off the scale. I love him. I think he's brilliant. Just the promos he does and the little vignettes on like Instagram and social media that he posts. I just mate, love it. Cannot say enough good things about Nathan Black, and especially for what he's done with PPW as well. Like purchasing it and sort of giving people a place to train and people to hone the craft. He's done a lot for the UK scene. I don't think he gets enough appreciation for what he's actually done, both inside and outside the ring. So yeah, can't say enough good things about Nathan Black. I hope
he definitely embodies the character, the persona, and not just like anybody who follows Pursuit on TikTok. I've mentioned this a lot, and I'm sorry to keep repeating myself, but if this is the first episode you've watched, I'm going to say it again, just in case you haven't heard it before. But if you're on TikTok, follow Pursuit. Nathan's in charge of, like the TikTok side of things. I'm talking to people and they start saying, he makes us do stuff over and over again for reels and videos. And at the time, they're just like, oh, what the fuck? But afterwards, they see it and they're like, oh, damn, that looks fucking awesome. And the numbers don't lie. They're getting hundreds of thousands and millions of views on some of them.
Exactly. And it goes back to saying how good the production quality is there. Because he makes them do it time and time again, but it has to be perfect because millions of people see this stuff and the production quality is just so high there, and that's down to Nathan Black and the team. But mate, yeah, I just love Nathan Black. The absolute genius.
He's just generally, obviously, the comedian himself is a massive twat, but to break kayfabe a little bit. Or just like shout at Nathan, just say, he's an awesome human being. So, thank you. Right, main event, Battle Royal. Off the top of, we've got Axel the Clown.
Yep.
Magic Man, obviously he's champion. You've got Magic Man, sorry, dude. I get
Music Man.
Magic Man, bloody hell. Paul Daniels is going to come out. But that would be scary as shit, actually. He's dead, isn't he? So I do apologise for that. So, yeah, Axel, Music Man, Posty Malone.
Yep, Posty Malone. We've got
Gentleman Jack.
Jim Maguire. Gentleman Jim Maguire. I think we've got on there. We have got Ellis Barker. Tremendously talented wrestler. Seen him a few times and always puts on a good show. B.A. Rose.
Yes.
What performer he is, by the way. Have you ever seen his deathmatch stuff?
Rise and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen him at Rise and a promotion called Kumite based in Derby. He had a killer of a match a few months ago with Alton Thorne, like a death match, and he's so good. But what I love about B.A. Rose is he can do the deathmatch stuff, but he can also do the standard wrestling as well. Like both are top class. I think he's probably one of the most underrated around, B.A. Rose. Big fan of B.A. Rose. So who else we got? We've got Aidan Sparks is in there as well, I believe. Yeah. We've got Commander Stephanie Sterling.
Yes.
We've got Luca Brigante and Rick Renegade. Again, not seen too much of Rick Renegade or Luca Brigante. Not seen them live. Seen Stephanie Sterling a few times live at True Grit and Tidal. Yeah, incredibly fun performer. So yeah, I mean, who would you pick to win this one?
I can't see the music. It is for the title, isn't it? Is it like a battle royal thing for the title?
So yeah,
I can't not put money on the Music Man. He's just won the title after having an absolute banger against Kemper. I can't see him dropping it, at the first show. He's somebody else though, where I watched that match against Kemper and I was highly impressed, but I had no idea where he came from. I was like trying to scour my memory. I was like, have I seen the Music Man elsewhere? Because he looks like he's been around for a while, and that's a compliment. But I was like, I couldn't put my finger on it. I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, exactly. As you say, he just seems to have appeared out of nowhere, really. I think first time I saw him live was at that Wrestle Planet promotion against Jake Silver earlier this year. But other than that, not seen too much of him. But I saw that match with Kemper on PPW's YouTube channel, and what a match that was! He's not just all character; he can actually go as well.
Good punches as well. Good punches.
Really good.
Yeah, it's just
a hell of a match.
Well, it inspired me to do it. It was my first ever watch along episode, and I just saw that match. And I was like, I need to actually, and I had to record it 3 times because I sort of said on that one. For the first 2 times I was recording, I was just sat there watching it, and I had to get like, fuck, I need to talk, right? Talk, right? Grab it, right? Let's watch it again. So I must have watched that match about 5 times, and every time it just, it delivered. The Van Kempenator, everything was just spot on.
Yeah, really good match. And that promo beforehand as well by Kemper. Oh, I loved it.
No, he said himself, again, this is tribute to Pursuit. He was when we were talking, he was like saying it's only recently that he started picking up the microphone, that he's had sort of the confidence, or he's pushed himself to start cutting promos. And through advice and help and feedback and everything like that, he's getting to a place where, I mean, obviously anybody who's seen that show has listened to that promo. That was a banging promo. That was like, on point. It ticked all the boxes. He had a pop at Liam Slater bringing the family into the kind of thing, and getting the reaction. And yeah, for a guy who probably 6 months ago had zero confidence cutting a promo, that was huge.
Exactly, and you couldn't see any sort of nerves or sort of trepidation there. It just looked like so natural to him, and again just someone who I've seen a few times this year, and just so impressed with his work. And he looks like an absolute killer as well. He's got that presence and that sort of aura about him. I mean, when you speak to him, he's like a lovely, sweet, nice man, but he looks like he'd kill you.
I thought the last True Grit show, he was just kind of sat there watching. I think he may have been there to help set up the ring and do this, that, and the other. And obviously, he'd come along with some of the other Pursuit guys that are on the show. But he was sat behind me, and I was just kind of kept looking back like that, thinking, "Is it?" Yep, I'm sure it is. So I had to go over and be like, "Yeah, dude, shake his hand," because I've had him on as a guest. I didn't want to be rude. But yeah, again, genuinely lovely guy to talk to. But yeah, if I saw him walking down the street, I think I would cross over.
100%. But yeah, man, what a talented performer.
He's like 6'5" and just serious fucking kick ass with it. When he wants, if you kind of got that persona, you're like, yeah, no, that's cool. I like that. And that's what we're saying is, again though, with Music Man, he's tall. I think they were both pretty much eye to eye. But it makes them stand out. I was talking to Lawson as well recently. He's another guy that's like crazy tall. That's one thing that's been lacking in British wrestling for many, many years, is guys that have like 6'5", 6'6" stature, and those stand out because they're just freaking tall. I mean, we've had big guys before, but we don't have many tall guys.
No, exactly. Shout out to Lawson as well. He's another very talented performer. I've seen him a few times on PPW's YouTube channel. Not had the pleasure of seeing him live as of yet, but another one who's really impressed me in the ring. So yeah, I mean, hopefully they find a place for him on the show, because I don't think he's on yet. But hell of a talented performer himself.
Yeah, Lawson. Jen, I think that's the thing. I could say this about everybody that we've mentioned. Through, and you could probably say the same. Meeting them at shows, talking to them afterwards. Obviously, I had the pleasure of talking to them on here. Just genuine, awesome human beings. Really nice to talk to. You can tell they love wrestling. They obviously, they do love wrestling. They're doing what they're doing, and they're putting their bodies through this to entertain us all. So they must love it as much as, more than we do. But yeah, they're just nice people to talk to, and you can't help but root for them, and you want them to be successful.
Exactly, and I think that's a good thing about PPW. The impression that I get, the trainees and the people who have come from there, the attitude is spot on. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be any sort of egos or confrontation. Well, there might be, obviously, because we're not there. But the general impression that we get from meeting them and talking to them is that they're just a really sound sort of bunch of people, really. Good, positive attitudes. As you said, love wrestling, love the business. And yeah, there's some of these people on this card who are destined for really, really big things, I reckon.
Fully. Which is, I've done this episode as a hype episode. This show doesn't need hyping at all. I just wanted to talk to somebody else who was equally excited about it as I was. I think they're pretty much, last I heard about a week ago, I think they had 20 tickets left. If they haven't gone yet, I'll be very, very surprised. So obviously the idea to hype something is to sell tickets. They don't need me to sell tickets. They've done that plenty well themselves. I just wanted to talk to somebody who was equally excitable about it as I was. And I was like, who would be going to that show?
Exactly, mate. Exactly. And plus, when you've got a main event such as like Leon Slater versus Liam Slater, which sold 800 tickets for a promotion, like North Wrestling, then I don't think it needs hyping up. But yeah, can't wait, mate. Should be an incredible show. Can't wait to go down and watch it live. There'll be a few people that I'm going with, a few people from UKW. There's a training school that I live near, UKW. And there's a few people from there who started to go to PPW as well, sort of like branching out and seeing what PPW have to offer as well. Some incredibly talented people, guys like Momentum, Hamza Masoa, Sebastian Mercer. There's a few people who are starting to go see what PPW has to offer, and they've been showcased in some of the social media reels PPW post as well. All incredibly talented people, all just lovely people as well, with positive attitudes, good attitudes, and yeah, hopefully they can sort of push their way onto a show in the future. But yeah, can't wait for this show, mate. It's going to be an absolute banger.
Yeah, awesome. Well, after it's been, if I can try and sweet talk you back on to either next week or the week after, you can come back on and we can discuss. You can tell me all about it. Because as much as I'm still trying, I'm still holding on to hope, but there's a chance that I will not be there. So if not, I'll have to live vicariously through you, and you can tell me all about it, and you can tell me how awesome it was on an episode next week or the week after or whatever's best for you. But yeah, I've just thoroughly enjoyed this chat, dude, and I've just anybody who isn't following Pursuit on any form of social media, do so. If they have got any tickets left, please go buy one. It just makes sense. And Mr. Wrestling Jebus, if you see this man at the show, buy him a beer to say thank you for talking to me and making this episode. So, dude, if you want to plug your socials so you can interact with other like-minded people.
Yeah, you can follow me at Wrestling Jebus. I'm on Twitter, or X as it's now called, I believe, or Instagram, again, just Wrestling Jebus. But yeah, absolutely, I've loved it, mate. Love chatting with you about the show. I said, can't wait for it, mate. I said, big fan of your show as well. Love the content you put out. You've interviewed so many wrestlers. I look at YouTube earlier, like, oh my god, you're on like show 108 or something. Just
this will be 108. Yeah, this will be 108. That's the thing as well. Yeah, we've had like Styx, RJ Haskins, Lizzie, Nathan Cruz, Matt Myers. I've talked to those guys, but I also want to obviously talk to guys from Pursuit. I'm going to be talking to guys from Wrestle Island next month. I've got Josh Garler and Sammy Blue on from Wrestle Island, trained by Mr. Sean Only. So it's putting eyes on guys like that, as well as the established guys. Because like you, man, I don't get to see the shows that you do. I don't get to experience from top to bottom. I have to do that by talking to them, kind of thing, and then just going on YouTube and watching the matches. So the reason I like, it just helps me because God bless YouTube. If I do miss a show, which I do miss more than I wish I did, at least I can kind of catch it on YouTube and watch it and enjoy it.
Exactly, and there's so much good content to watch as well, which is nice to see. So many British promotions putting out loads of like free matches on YouTube and stuff, or free shows, which is really good to see. So yeah, no, definitely check it out because there's so much good content to watch. I think it's a good time to be a fan of British wrestling right now because it's been through a lot of stuff the past few years. So it's nice to see it coming out on the good side right now.
Exactly, and any shady promotions out there, be very careful because there's that many good promotions. You're in danger of alienating yourselves because we have just a wealth of selection. And talking to YouTube, the last thing I'll mention, I've mentioned obviously Pursuit's YouTube. North YouTube channel is freaking next level as well. A lot of these matches we've talked about, Liam versus Liam, that's on their YouTube channel now. Go watch that on YouTube. If you have no idea what we're talking about, before Pursuit match, watch the North match and get yourself excited. So, dude, thank you so much for talking to me. It's been a genuine pleasure, mate, and I hope it's not the last time I get to speak to you or have you on the show. Hit like, hit subscribe, do the normal generic social media stuff, and we will see you again very, very soon. As you said, we'll be talking to Hardman Dan soon. I will also be talking to Rogan from Reese and Rogan about Fight Factory, their upcoming shows. And yeah, I've just got a selection of, as I say, Sammy Blue, Josh Garler, B.A. Rose, who we mentioned earlier, is also going to be on the show in the foreseeable. I'm just trying to sort out a date. And also, if you haven't watched it yet, please go and watch the Wrestlers special episode with Al Snow and Doug Basham, just so I can get the views up and make it feel like it wasn't a waste of their time talking to me. So thank you very much, Mr. Jebus. You're an absolute genuine star, mate. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, mate. Honestly, it'd be an honour and a pleasure. Anytime you want me on, more than happy to come on again, mate. So thank you so much, mate. All the best. Thank you.